السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا زدنا علما. اللهم فقهنا في الدين. اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا. آمين يا رب العالمين. So here we are with our session number 158 for Quranic Arabic grammar and session number 9 for Surah Taha. And inshallah, we are going to start with quick recap of the verses that we have done in our last session. And inshallah, we'll go over a few things that we did not cover in our last session. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So Surah Taha, here is the verse that we were working on. We have covered almost 4 verses in our last session. With 15, we have covered in the session before, but we still did not go over this ma. And however, in the last session, we did go over the 4 ways you can label the sentence akadu. Everyone remembers? How can we label sentence akadu ukhfiha, the sentence that is coming after the main sentence, inna sa'ata atiyatun. So I'm waiting for the answers. You start typing and I'm going to see. Okay. No one is going to type today? Can you hear me? So if you want me to repeat the question, I was asking, akadu ukhfiha, the sentence that is right after this main sentence, inna sa'ata atiyatun, what were the 4 ways we have labeled this sentence as? So this is treated as jumla ismiya because akadu also is a fi'l that is very much like kana wa akhwatuha. It is from af'alul muqaraba. It also does not have an action, and sometimes it will have an action as well. It can act like fi'l tam, but here it is acting like fi'l naqis. When it is acting like fi'l naqis, you can, it's going to have an ismu kada and khabru kada, and that part you have, if you all remember that, you can call ismu kada ana, which is damir mustatir, hidden pronoun, akadu, based on the sign of mudare that you have in the beginning of your mudare, which was hamza. You know that damir that is mustatir here is ana, and ukhfiha is the khabru kada fi mahalli nasbin, very special feature of kada and the rest of the af'alul muqaraba is that they are very similar to kana wa akhwatuha, as we have learned in our previous session. One thing is that their khabar is always going to be jumla fi'liya. It's always going to be jumla fi'liya. Keep that in mind. Now, when you label this jumla fi'liya, remember, as Sister Zohra has said, that you can call akadu ukhfiha as jumla mu'tarida, which is an extra information, and it is something that is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. And the second way that you can label the entire sentence starting for akadu ukhfiha, this whole chunk, is you can label it as a hal for as-sa'ata, right? Number 3, you can call it you can call it the sifa for atiyatun. And number 4 is it can be another khabar for inna, right? In another khabar for inna. So these all are very important points, because one surah if you learn how to put Arab on one surah, my dear sisters, and if you give your 100% to it, it is going to help you put labels on many upcoming surahs. And it just starts with, people start with labeling how put Arab on Surah Al-Fatiha, and until Surah Al-Nas, they can do pretty good job. So here this is as a practice surah for all of us, and we are going to make sure that we spend time. If we don't understand a concept, we go back to the recording, or we ask questions. Okay, so akadu ukhfiha can be a hal for as-sa'ata. Sahibul hal is proper, and jumla haliya does have a pronoun That goes back to as-sa'ata. What pronoun did you see in this sentence that goes back to as-sa'ata? Ha. When you come to akadu ukhfiha, and when you call it khabar for as-sa'ata, again you know that your mubtada and khabar, or your ismu kana and ismu inna and khabru inna must be in sync, right? When we call it khabru inna, and any mubtada and khabar must be in sync, right? Like the subject must match the predicate, right? And there are very few exceptions, and that is when the word that is coming up as a khabar does not conform. It is the same word used for masculine, feminine, singular, plural. Okay, so otherwise, your mubtada, your subject, and predicate match. I don't say she is a boy or he is a girl. Keep that example in mind, and that will help you understand this concept as well. So in akadu ukhfiha, again, there is a ha that is referring back to ismu inna. When you label it as sifa for atiyatun, again, there is, a pronoun that is going back to atiyatun. Is this all clear to you? When we are labeling sentence as a sifa for something, do they match in status? Yes or no? If they match in status, what should be the status of akadu ukhfiha? It is rough in status, barakallahu fi mahali raf'in, very well done, right? And when I label it as hal, the status of every hal, whether it is mufradism, when it is a mufradism, it is going to be nasb. If it is a jumla, then you call it fi mahali nasbin, fi mahali nasbin. When it comes to an interjection, it's always going to be la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. It will have no status then. Okay, so that was something about the sentence that we have covered. Then we have covered that li tujzi, we can connect it to ukhfiha, and also we can connect it to the main sentence that inna sa'ata atiyatun li tujza kullu nafsin bima tas'a. So when you look at the sentence itself, there was a ma here that we had not covered in our previous sessions, and I want you to pay attention to this ma. If you have to pick, what are the two options that are coming to your mind when you see bima tas'a? Main two options. There may be many, but from the whole slide of ma, which one you want to pick? Sister Faiza says that it should be either ma masdariya or it should be ma mausula. What about the rest of the sisters? Okay, Sister Zora says that she's going to just stick with one option, and that is ma mausula. What about the rest of you? Only Sister Faiza and Sister Zora were paying attention to ma lectures, or what about the rest of you? You also have to participate, my dear sisters. Okay, so when you see a ma, now let's do it. So, okay, a very quick tip, and that works usually, is if you can translate your ma as what it's going to be, ma mosula, okay? But also remember in one thing, there is a way I taught you when I was going into the details of ma. There was something I think we have gone over. We should be able to have it here somewhere. Okay, I think I have it here. Okay, so when to call something as mausula and when to call it as masdariya. And this is the main confusion. One teacher is going to tell you this is Mosula, and one is going to tell you Masdariya, and both teachers are going to be right in in most of the cases. Okay, there can be different ways how you label things. Zaida, you usually see after certain things. When you learn Ma Zaida, you have been taught, you mainly see it after Adwatu Shart, and there were other, cases, those specific cases, Adwatu Shart includes your in, right? So after that, if you have anything any Adwatu Shart, you are going to see it there. Barakallahu feek, and I see other options as well. You can see it after sometimes zaida is zaida, that is kafa can be seen after inna, and then it can be seen after rubba. It can be seen after Sister Faiza saying tala. There are certain af'al that can have ma zaida after them, and when you think about ma zaida, look for those options, number one, and then go on to call something as zaida. Okay, is this clear? And I think we have, summaries here, so I hope I'm able to find something real quick from the summaries that Sister Faiza has created for all of us. So if you see ma zaida ghair kafa, it's going to be bada adwatu shart, and you see it idama, you see haysuma, you see ainama, you see kaifama, you see kullama, right? And you have seen many sentences, conditional sentences with ma zaida, right? After adwatu shart. And ayyuma, we have gone over that as well, right? Imma, because, in, when it is followed by ma, because of the tajweed rules, you have an idgham there, right? So you don't say inma, you say imma. And then you can see it after harf jar. Zaida, you can see after haruf jar, which is an and ba. But, this is not coming as where the position is not such where you are seeing a harf jar. So that is, this one is after harf jar, as as you are seeing here. But here you are seeing an ism that has been majroor. But do you see any ism here for it to be called as ma zaida, right? So there's no ism after it. If there was an ism after it, which was jar in status, and you tell me this is ma zaida, a ghair kafa, the answer was right. But I'm glad that you brought it, and we were able to go over our mind. It was a quick recap, and subhanallah. So, and then you can see it between mudaf and mudaf ilayhi, as you can see ayyumal ajalaini. So ayyuma ma, again seen after not only adwatu shart, but it is present between mudaf and mudafun ilayhi, right? So everyone, is this good for you? You're all good now. And then when it comes to ma kafa, that's another another something. So you have it on your slides, and everything has been shared with you so far. Okay. So now tell me, after you have reviewed your ma zaida ghair kafa, and you have also seen a slide for ma zaida kafa. So now tell me, do you all still think that it can be zaida, or you are going to just call it mausula and masdariya? You are going to stick with mausula and masdariya. You are going to stick with mausula or masdariya. So when you were learning about mausula or masdariya, you were taught that if you see anything that is a fail, you will have to focus on to choose between these two, masdariya and mausula. What you have to focus on is the fail after it. If there is a fail mutaaddin, if there is a fail mutaaddi that is without a maf'ul, then you can label it both ways. Okay, can be treated as both ways, and both way teachers are going to be right. You are going to say my teacher A is right and my teacher B is also right. Everyone with me on this? If this was something that can take maf'ul bihi, both answers are right. But now if you see after it something that is lazim, that is a fail lazim, or a fail mutaaddin that does have a maf'ulun bihi after it, what should you call it? You have been taught this. You should call it ma masdariya. Ma masdariya. Okay. So now look at tas'a. Can I attach who after tas'a? He strove it. Does it make sense? So it kind of sounds like lazim or mutaaddi. It sounds like a lazim fi'l. And again, this easier way, if you don't know all the details, and this has been reviewed, so because there is always going to be a confusion, and this table is there, but this may not always work 100%. Okay, I may be saying what in my translation, but it may not work for grammatical world. Okay, because there is one thing called translation which always wins, but there is something called grammatical ruling. So I have given you that tip that most of the time when you can translate your ma as what, it is going to be mausula. But here, if you look at the grammatical aspect of things, what makes more sense? It sounds like ma masdariya. It is followed by it is followed by fail. Usually masdariya is followed by fail madin, but can also be seen with mudari. Okay. Yarifunahu kama yarifuna abna'ahum. So, right, there was a ma there. So it can be seen with both, but mostly you will see it. The ma is going to be ma masdariya is going to be followed by fail madin. It is often beaten up by harfjar, and you can see here kama sallaita, kama barakta. Right? The fail that is going to be before it and after it is going to be the same. It's not true for this one, right? You don't see tas'a before. So yes, this slide is very, very helpful for our beginner to understand and to label most of masdariya in Quran and in hadith, in duas, but it may not be 100% correct way to just, it's not that, there is always going to be more to it, and you have to go over these concepts as well. To get, pay some attention to the fail after it, and also see, there is a harjar. It can, it can be ma masdariya and stuff like that. Okay. Is this clear to all of you that it can be masdariya? So, Sister Arham, it's two for you. You don't understand? Okay. So, I think, what about the rest of the sisters? Alhamdulillah. So make sure you add your who, you add your who to your fail after ma, okay? And then see if it is lazim and mutaad or mutaaddi, okay? So do your drill, not grill, drill. So most of us, with the weather being so good in this week, and I don't know which part of the world you are, but the part of the world I'm in, weather is very good, so there's more about grilling, not about drilling. So but let's do it as a drill. It's more as I said, there may be two options, but most if you find it as masdariya, I will go with masdariya. Okay. Sister Diba, does it clear my point? When it is masdariya, and there will be, as I said, again, there is no 100%, but that is how we narrow down our Arab. As I told you, we are striving to put Arab on any given ayah based on grammatical rulings. Okay, so having said that, that means that I am going to make sure that there is a grammatical basis for what I'm saying. I'm not just going to make a random guess on anything. So the slides that I've shown you, and you have gone over them with me before, right? You were there when we were going over different types of ma. So this is, yeah. So keep that in mind. There may be, both ways are going to be correct, but there is, if 90% are saying masdariya, this could be the rationale behind it. Okay. I mean, Vayaki, my dear sisters, and let's just continue. So if you treat it as Mausula, if you treat it as Mausula, then you can simply say this is your harf, ism that is majroor because of bima, because of b, it is majroor, and tas'a is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab because it is silatul mawsul. If you call it harf masdariya, how will you treat it now? Do you have to combine these two together? Yes or no? Do you have to now take this chunk together and call it al-masdarul mu'awwal, and then call this masdarul mu'awwal as being halli jaran, combined jar? Because if you call it masdariya, what is it going to be, an ism or a harf? When you call it masdariya, it is going to be a harf. Barakallahu feek, very well done. And no, masdariya is harf by itself. If you are talking about ma, if you're just looking at ma is harf masdariya. Together with a fail, it becomes al masdar al muawwal. Together with a fail, it will become masdar al muawwal fi mahalli jarin. Just like an, when you have an, like there was an an hidden after fa. An is a harf, but together with an tarda, Antarda is Masdarul Muawwal. It is going to be an ism together. Okay? Is this clear? Alhamdulillah. Okay, so now that was a little brief summary about your Ma and a recap of Ma. Please, 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 if you want to be the master of Ma, do go back to your slides, and you have to go back to your slides several times to, to be well versed with them. So inshallah, and I'm sure that you are going to do a very good job. Each and every one of you is going to master it. Okay, and then don't forget to go through these points as well. Since this this is not the topic for today, you can read them on your own time, and whenever you get some time to go over them. Okay, so that was that. And then we also went over ma al istifhamia, which can be found in all three statuses. Yeah, yes or no? You all agree that when we covered ma, we went over that it is an ism and it can have all three statuses. When it is beaten up by harf jar, what happens to this ma? If it has a harf jar before it, it is going to be jar in status. But what happens to the construction of ma? Does it stay as ma 2 counts, or is it down to now one count only? It loses its alif. Yeah, it drops to 1 count because it has to lose its alif in that case. Okay, when beaten up by harf jar. So, and then you have learned it in details in ma when we were learning ma al istifhamia. It can be mubtada, it can be khabru kana nasab, it can be maful. And here in the slides you do have it. If it is followed by an ism that is common, you call it mubtada. But if it is followed by ism marfa, can be khabar as well. Okay, it can be either mubtada and khabar. So which way, both ways are allowed. Okay, most grammarians agree on this, that it can be either labeled as mubtada or it can also be called khabar muqaddam. If this is clear to you, type 1. Okay, barakallahu feek. So that is that. I just don't want anyone to miss, anything. Okay, that's why I'm showing you all this. Okay, so we have covered ma'aribu ukhra. So what are you finding special on this word ma'aribu ukhra, the last verse I think that we did in our last session? So ma'aribu, what the kind of a word is it? Very well done. It's a plural. If it is a plural, which category of plural it is? We have learned in our course 5 types of plural: sound plural, jama salim, broken plural, jama mukassar, ism jama, collective noun. We have learned ism jins jami. We have learned ism jins ifradi, right? So there were 5 types of plurals that we have learned, that there's the last one, ifradi. The same word can be used for singular, plural, no matter how much the amount is. Okay, so this word is, Sister Arham is saying that this is a ghair munsarif. It is jama mukassar and the type is ghair munsarif. So do you remember? And I know when we started our course, we were at a very it was some people were just starting their grammar journey with us, so we could not go over much details at that time. But I want you to all pay attention to this today. This word is on a pattern which is called mafa'ilu. What is a pattern for this word? Mafa'ilu is a pattern for this word, and you have learned it as a plural pattern, which is going to be which is going to be which is going to be partly flexible, and if that makes things easy for you, or mamnu min as-sarf. Okay, it is going to be partly flexible, mamnu min as-sarf. Okay, and the only reason for it to be partly flexible is it is a super plural or a ultimate plural. Okay, it is jama al muntaha, like the biggest plural, if that makes some sense. Okay, is this clear to you? For example, the reason of me telling you this is when I ask you, because the last surah that we did, we learned a partly flexible ism, ar-Rahman. And I taught you the two reasons for it to be partly flexible. Who remembers that? Alif Noon, it was Zaida bil Alif Noon. No, it was not Isam Alam, it was a Sifa al Mushabba. Remember? Rahman is not Alam, right? It is a Sifa al Mushabba. So in this table, when you look at it, in this table, Wasfiya. Wasfiya means it is a adjective, a word that acts like an adjective. Rahman is a sifa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So, and that sifa, you can put it under sifa al mushabba, and this pattern, which is mazid with alif and noon, you are going to see it as partly flexible. And two reasons. Number one reason, it is sifa mushabba. Number one reason, it was sifa mushabba. Number two reason was alif noon. It was mazid bil alif noon. And then we also learned that not every word that is mazid bil alif noon is going to be partly flexible. Anyone remembers any word with additional alif noon and is not partly flexible? No, but that is partly flexible. Rahman is partly flexible. Quran, remember? We went over different examples, and Tufan or something like there were many other words on the same pattern that I showed you, and I told you that look at these ones, and they are not partly flexible. Furqan, yeah, there was this word is you used so many times. So Furqan is not going to be partly flexible because Furqan is not sifa mushabba, right? It is mazid bil alif noon, but it is not sifa mushabba. It is mazid bil alif noon, but it is not a name. Sometimes, if a name has additional alif noon, it is going to be partly flexible too, like Imran, Usman, Luqman. But those are ism alam, and also they are mazid bil alif noon. So not every alif noon additional is going to be partly flexible. If I ask you, what about Ramadan? Should it be partly flexible or fully flexible? Fully? Ramadan, partly flexible. Why? Give me reasons. It is Mazid bil Alif Noon, number one, Barakallahu Feek. Reason. Everything has a reason. And if we just pay some attention to those reasons, it is Mazid bil Alif Noon and it is Asam Alam. It is Asam Alam, right? It's a name. It is a name of a month. So Sha'ban, Ramadan, those months are going to be partly flexible or mamnu min as-sarf because there are two reasons for them. Number one, for an ism alam to be partly flexible, it must have another, a reason behind it. So for this one to work as a partly flexible ism, the reason is additional alif noon. Everyone with me? I know it's a very, very dry topic. This one is very dry, but I want you to pay attention when your word does not have the matain. What is the default weight of a word? When you, it is always heavy, right? When it is heavy. So if it is heavy, when it did not have a tanween, then we must pay attention. So now you know why this is not carrying a damatain. This is because this is from Jama tul Muntaha. And the next word, ukhra, why, what do you think should it be? Should it be partly flexible or fully flexible or non-flexible? Ukhra. So the words that have alif, that is alifut ta'anis, words that have alif, that is alifut ta'anis, and this was given in your first term. But at that time, it was not the, I think, I did not, ask you to memorize each and everything because it was too much at that time. So now that we are doing our reviews and everything, so if your word is ending with alifut ta'anisul mamduda, or alifut tanisul maksura, your word is going to be word is going to be partly flexible. It's going to be partly flexible. And I don't know where my maksura part is. Yeah, bushra here. So if you look at this word, ukhra, what are the root letters for ukhra? Hamza, kha, ra are the root letters. What tells you this word is feminine? Let's do the gender of the word. It is there is an alif maksura which is telling you the word is feminine, right? It is feminine, yes or no? So it is feminine. So this alif is called alifut tanis, alifut tanisul maksura. Okay, you can see here the name. The name here is alifut tanis, that is maksura. This aliful maksura is alifut tanis. Okay, it is alifut tanis. Yes, it is yes, it is that as well. Yes, it is ism tabdil. It is a feminine ism tabdil as well. Yes. I hope I'm telling you no. It is. It is it. Yeah. Yeah. It is. It is. So now, fu'ola. When you see this word, this if I ask you, what's going to be the flexibility of this word? It's going to be partly flexible. Is this clear? If your word has the alif as a sign of feminine, let's keep it simple. If your word has an alif as a sign of feminine, it can be alif mamduda or alif maksura. Can be alif mamduda or alif maksura. Alif maksura written like this. Alif mamduda written like this. You have alif followed by a hamza. Your word is going to be partly flexible. Do you find sufara'u as partly flexible in Quran? Yes or no? It's not going to be with the matain. It's always with single haraka, right? It is without tanween. Why is it without tanween? Because the word is mamnu min as-sarf, because both alif tanis mamduda, alif tanis maksura are going to be, words ending with these alifs are going to be partly flexible. But when you look at this sama'un, ma'un, hawa'un, can you call them, are these words going to be partly flexible? Why? Why are they not partly flexible? Because they are never going to be. But why? Never. Why no? In so many no's. I'm loving it. Because this alif is not alif ta'anis. This alif is not alif alif mamduda or that is for ta'anis, right? This is not for ta'anis, right? It is a replacement. Barakallahu feek. So remember that when you are calling something as tanis, it cannot be the root letter. It cannot be the root letters that has changed. It has to be alif, alifu tanis mamduda, alifu tanis maksura, which is a sign of feminine. It cannot be an alif that is a root letter of the word. Okay? That is why you see ma'un, sama'un, hawa'un, because they are not that alif. This alif mamduda in all these three cases is not, it is mamduda, but it's not alif ta'nis. Okay? These words are not going to be feminine because of their alif mamduda. Sama'un is feminine, but that is, what kind of a feminine is sama'un? Real quick. Samai, barakallahu feek. So, is this clear? And I know, again, it is something, there are many things that we are learning in this session today, and there are many things that we are revising. And yes, and that is the purpose, because small things, if I bring them to you again and again, small doses of this very dry topic again and again and again and again in a small amount, I think it's going to make a big difference, right? You start, with something small, and it leads to, inshallah, a big, big rivers of knowledge, inshallah. And we are all going to, try to do that. Okay. So again, these two words are matching. If I ask you, what will be how will you define the status of this word? It's going to be marfu with damatul muqaddara. It's going to be marfu with damatul muqaddara. But if it was to be jar in status, it's not going to take kasra. It's going to be again going to have implied fatha because it is mamnu min as-sarf, which will be niyaba from the, which is the replacement or substitute from the kasra, because this word cannot take a kasra. So I hope all my sisters are with me. I am not seeing an answer from one of my very dear sisters. So I'm going to I wanted to review something with her because one day when I was it's Sister Ambreen I'm talking about. So one day I was just roughly telling you about the types of sentences, and I wanted you to go over the types of sentences as well. That when you look at a sentence, it can be jumla khabariya or jumla inshaiya, right? But I'm going to put, I'm going to record everything since the sessions are recorded. So I'm sure she will, inshallah, she will listen to that. Yeah. So when you look at sentences, you can have either jumla khabariya or jumla inshaiya. Jumla khabariya is a statement of fact which can be confirmed as truth or denied as a lie. Okay. So when I say I um, um, go to school, so somebody can say no, you don't go. You don't go to school anymore. Can you say that? Yes or no? You can say that you are too old to go to school, right? So that kind of a statement is going to be al-jumra al-khabariya, okay? But if I say, how beautiful is this, is a sky? Or Fatima, oh Fatima, come here. Can you say, oh Fatima, come here, that this is a lie? Can you? No, those statements where you cannot confirm them as a truth or a lie, or deny them as a lie. Those kind of statements are called jumla inshaiya. So if I now take you back to Surah Taha, the beautiful surah that we are going over. So in this case, inna sa'ata atiyatun. What kind of a sentence is this going to be? Based on very small amount of information that I just gave you about khabariya, inna sa'ata atiyatun. Should it be khabariya or inshaiya? It's going to be khabariya, barakallahu feek, because people were denying it, right? So people were denying it, and that's why you see there is a particle of emphasis here. And anyone can tell me what is the particle of emphasis there that tells you inna, barakallahu fi, because when people are usually denying something, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use something that is, that kind of a sentence has something that has more emphasis, so that people know that no, this is not just something that you can just deny. No, there is it's definitely going to be coming. So that is jumla al-khabariya. When it comes to jumla inshaiya, insha can be talbi, and when you see a word at talbi, what comes to your mind? Talb, demand, barakallahu fi. And insha can be ghair talbi, like you are not demanding anything from anyone. Okay. For example, when I say aqimus salah, when Allah says aqimus salah, establish salah, is it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asking you to do something, demanding something from you? Yes, it is going to be under the category of insha talbi. When Allah says, don't come to la taqrabu salah wa antum sukara, don't come near salah while you are drunk. So is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is forbidding us to come to salah, it's again a forbidding, and Allah is demanding something, so it is again going to be under the umbrella of al-insha at-talbi. When you ask a question, are you looking for an answer? Ma tilka bi yaminik ya Musa. What do you think? You will call it insha? No? Are you not asking, looking for an answer? Is Allah not looking for an answer from Musa alayhi salam? Ma tilka bi yaminik ya Musa? It is going to be, it is an istifham. It is a question, which is, usually the standard use of question is to have an answer about something. It's you ask question about something that you know don't know about. But yes, it is about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah knows everything, but still there's a question, and that, and Musa answered that question. So this kind of a sentence, if I ask you what is the type of the sentence, matil ka bi yaminin, it is going to be insha talbi, right? It is again going to be insha talbi. It's a istifham, so it is going to be in this umbrella, in the umbrella of al-insha at-talbi. When it is nida, what are you, when you are calling someone, what are you asking them to do? When you say, oh Fatima, pay attention, you are asking for their, you are demanding their attention. So ya Musa, if I ask you, what is this sentence here, ya Musa, is it jumla inshaiya? Yes or no? It is inshaiya. Barakallahu feek. So you can just start typing in for inshaiya, and no, then it's going to be and kh for khabariya. Okay. And when you ask for something, when you desire something that cannot be fulfilled, it is going to be tamanna, right? Desire that cannot be fulfilled, it is going to be tamanni. And tamanni is also demanding. You're looking for something. You are asking for something. So again, it's going to be al insha at talbi. When you are hoping for something, la'allakum tashkurun. Hopefully, maybe they will be grateful. So that is again al insha at talbi. Yes or no? When we are saying maybe, hopefully, they become grateful. So that kind of a sentence is also going to be coming under the umbrella of al-insha at-talbi. When you have something, when you are praising someone or something, or criticizing someone on something, that kind of, sentence, it cannot be, you cannot say, this is true or false. Yes or no? For example, in Quran, you see um, bi'sal masir, how bad it is, how evil is it, as how bad is it as a place of return. So it is, there is, it's you cannot say true or false, but are you demanding anything from that person when you are saying Bi'sal Masir? Is Allah demanding? No. So it is going to be categorized as al insha ghair talbi. Clear? When Allah says Hasuna ulaika rafiqa. How good are they as friends? So, um, it's all praising, and it's all again. It is going to be al insha ghayr talbi, right? So sometimes when you have the ajub, when there is the ajub, there is an expression of amazement or shock. Somebody expresses amazement or shock to something. Can it be, it's not again demanding anything from anyone, right? When you show a reaction to an event that is good or bad, um, it's those statements that come as a reaction and that comes as an expression of amazement or shock, they are also cannot be labeled as true or false statements, and they come under the category of al insha ghair talbi. When Allah says wal asr, is that demanding something from someone? It's not demanding something from someone, and you cannot say you are in lying or mazallah. You never say, it's again going to be al insha, and it's going to be insha ghayr talbi. Okay, and this is not there is, as you can see here in my first slide, and please do pay attention to this information is non-grammatical. This information is for your understanding. Okay, I want you to understand Quran completely. So I just brought this to you guys because I went over few of the sentences in the very beginning of Surah Taha. So I just want to make sure that you have some information on them and you can categorize them and you understand that, what is this statement about? How I have to understand that. Okay, inshallah. So that is that. Then for today's class, we have 15 minutes left and we have gone over many different types of fas. Can somebody tell me the types of fa that you have learned in this course with me? So atf, rabita. So Faiza, I have not taught Vakya yet. Okay. So Sababiya, Barakallahu Feek, right? Very well done. So there is a Sababiya, Fau Rabita. We have separate, even recordings on them as well, so that we can go back and look at them. So I'm going to start today this topic, and inshallah we can complete it in our next session. And let's just go over. I want you all to familiarize yourself with these 9 types of fa that you are going to come across in Arabic text. Okay, it can be Arabic text means that you may not see some of them in Quran, but out of Quran you may see them, and you should know a little bit about them. They are not too hard to know. So first of all is Fa'ul Ataf, Fa al Istinafiya, Fa'ul Ta'liliya, Fa'ul Waqiya, Fa'ul Fasiha, Fa'ul Zaida, Fa'ul Fi'liya, Fa'ul Sababiya, and Fa'ul Rabita. These last two, we have learned them, we have gone over them. Fa'ul Atf, we have also gone over it briefly. Let's just, go over it and see how much we remember and how much we need to, refresh what we already know. So Fa'ul Atf its purpose is to denote sequence and succession. When you see an Fa'ul Atf, Fa that is acting as an Atf, it's going to give you the sequence of an event. Like he ate, he went to see his mother, then he ate there, then he went shopping with his mother. So all these thens that I have used, are they telling you the order of the events, how the events happened? Yes or no? If it does not give you an understanding of that, just look at the verse here. Summa amatahu akbarahu. Then he causes his death and provides a grave for him. So first we die and then we go to grave, right? First we will die, Allah will cause us to die one day, and then we will be put in grave. And so this fa tells you that first a person dies and then he is put in grave. So how the events happen in succession, this fa is for tartib. Like what was the first thing that happened, then what happened next, and then what happened next. It can also be for ta'qib, like ta'qib means that as a result of that, then once you are dead, then you have to be put in grave, right? Like I'm talking about myself. Once I die, I'm going to be put in grave. If I'm not put in grave, that's going to be a big problem, right? So, what happens, and as a result, what happens? That fa that gives you a sequence is going to be called Paul Atf. For a quick comparison, I'm going to ask you to think about Summa. If I had there, for example, this is Quran, I cannot add anything, but I'm just giving you an example. If there was instead of Summa Amatahu, Summa Akbarahu, how will it be different from Fa? It's Can anyone tell me? It's going to be again giving you the sequence of events that first the person died and then he was put in grave. But in Summa, you will have Tarahi. Tarahi means that there was a delay, right? It was not that, and there was after some time, the next event happened. Okay? Yes. Barakallahu fiqh, Sister Rashida, Sister yes, it is going to tell you there was a time from one event to another time. So for the to the another event. So when fa is seen, you are going to understand it as something that is connecting different events together for you, and it's telling you what was the order. Okay, what was the order? The order could be zamni, like the time, according to the time. Okay, or order could be zikri, means how somebody narrated it to you. So this happened and this happened and this happened. Okay, so both ways you will understand it as a fa that comes and connects and tells you what was the sequence for something. Okay, for example, now I tell you, Ja'a Zaidun فَمُحَمَّدٌ. What do you understand? جَاءَ زَيْدٌ فَمُحَمَّدٌ. Zaid came, then Muhammad came. Make sense or no sense? Huh. First Zaid came and then Muhammad came. If I say Ja'a Zaidun Summa Muhammadun, though you are not going to see it like that, but I'm just giving you an example to make it simple and easy for you to understand. In that case, you will know that came, but Muhammad came after some time. Okay? There is tarahi, that is with summa, but fa means that, they came, in, quick succession. Okay? When you compare Paul Atf with Wawil Atf, which is the most common Atf that we have seen in Quran, Waw is merely a linking word. It does not signify the sequence or the order of precedence unless indicated by the context or born out by external evidence. What does it mean? Very heavy English, but I will try to make it simple. When you compare fa and Waw is not going to. No, this is Wawat. We are talking about Wawat. We are not going to talking about Maya. Okay, so just focus on At for now. Okay, because we are learning Faulat. When you make a comparison, it's going to give you a good understanding that now Allah is narrating something and Allah is giving you the sequence of the events. Either it could be according to time or it could be according to the zikr. That how the things were. Things happened. So when I give you this verse from Surah Al-Hadid, وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا نُوحًا وَإِبْرَاهِيمَ, and we sent Nuh and Ibrahim. What does it tell you? Does it give you any idea about, who came first or who came second? But by merely looking at the verse itself, it does not. And there is no such indication when Waw is used as an atf. Let me tell you, some people do say that when Waw is used between two, as an atf, between as we have used fa and summa, and if we put Waw at the same place, it means that both came at the same time. But according to more authentic resources, it seems like Waw does not do that. It just links words together. It does not give you the sequence who came first, who came second. Okay? Is this clear to all of you? I wanted to bring this point to your attention because sometimes, for example, Waw Atf is used for Zikrul Khas Badul Am or Zikrul Am Badul Khas. So in that case as well, like when we say Tanazzalul Malaikatu Waruh, does not mean that there was, first they came and then they came, or Jibrail Amin came, or it does not even also mean that they were both coming, together, because Jibrail Amin alayhi salam himself was the part of that al malaikatu, right? So keep that in mind. So it's not, you are going to just get the sequence because either you know it based on the history, based on your knowledge, that Nuh alayhi salam was sent before Ibrahim alayhi salam, but otherwise Waw does not indicate that both were given, both were sent together. Okay. Yeah, easy. So is this clear to all of you? Are we on the same page? So Paul at tartib wa taqib. Tartib wa taqib. Remember, you will know that what happened, what was the sequence, and as a result, what happened. Okay? You will know kind of a result as well with Paul at. You don't have the same uh, sequencing, or it's just going to, you have to know based on the context. Okay, so is Paul at clear to all of you? Now when you go through your verses and you see Allah is mentioning, then we gave them this, then we gave them this, so it's going to be inshallah easy for you, I hope. Then comes Paul Istinafia. When you see Paul Istinafia, you will see that the statement that comes after foul istinafia is not related to what has been mentioned before, and it's starting a new sentence. It's the beginning of a new sentence. For example, in Surat Al-Araf, you have here فَلَمَّا آتَاهُمَا صَالِحًا جَعَلَا لَهُ شُرَكَاءَ فِيمَا آتَاهُمَا فَتَعَالَى اللَّهُ عَمَّا يُشْرِكُونَ. This has turned, let me just make it black. Okay. Fata'ala. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them to a solid awlad or solid offspring, they both to make for him partners in regards to what Allah has given them. So Allah is above what they associate with him. So this kind of that started a new grammatical statement is going to be labeled as al-faul isti'nafiya. Is this clear to you? It is not going to be, it has, you have to see that, there is a new something that has started. The statement that you saw before is jumla shartiya starting with lamma because it is followed by fi'il madin, and then there's another grammatical statement that starts after fa, and this fa is going to be called faul istinafiya. Yes, and that is, because it's a difficult topic, and that's why I wanted to go over this, and I wanted to give you an idea what the fa is all about, and then go back to label that, okay, right? So just like how you have some let me get back to you on this one. So the question is, what is the difference between fa'il istina versus wawil istina? I have to get back to you on this one. Okay. 189 has atfa. Okay, falamma. So this one, are you talking about this one? Falamma askalat the awa, this one, or which one are you before that? Okay, falamma famarrat bihi. This one, that is yes, yes, bilkul. That's absolutely right. That you are seeing. There is something hamalat, hamlan, khafifan, famarrat bihi. So there is one event. She got pregnant lightly, and then she how is it translated as she no, I actually did not put the translation there. Then she um, um, um marra, to pass by something, and then she carries it. Yeah, then she carried it. Yeah. So that this one is giving you the sequence of events that first she got pregnant and she was light, and then she carried her pregnancy, and then eventually what happens is when she was when she got heavy with the child, then they both made dua and to their Rabb, and that and then the dua comes. Okay, is this clear so far? Okay. Okay, so now let's do another one, and this one, keep in mind, this is this one is atf, this one is atf, but the last one, because I have my slides all, the words get separated, so that's why I could not highlight it. So this one, فَتَعَالَى اللَّهُ عَمَّا يُشْرِكُونَ, is going to be fa, which is isti'nafiya, starting a new statement, which is not grammatically connected to whatever has been said before. It's a new grammatical statement that is beginning after fa, and whatever comes after isti'naf, always remember, do you remember? Whatever follows, what sentence um, follows afa is going to be la muhalla laha min al-i'rab. Barakallahu feek, very well done. And I have 1 more minute, and let's see. Then comes another. I think should I just? I think I should stop here. Or should I? I think I will. I have just 1 minute. I don't know if I'm going to do justice. Yeah, I think we should stop here, and I will leave you with these two types of fa. The first one was faul atf. The second one was faul istinafia. I want you to go over some sentences and see how you understand your types of sentences, and how how you can, the sentences that we have gone, verses we have gone over in Surah Taha, ayat that we have already attempted, kindly go back and find your Jumla Khabariya and Jumla Inshaiya, okay? And send them in your, upload them in your homework folder, okay? And I can have a look at that and see if you really understood something or not, okay? Inshallah. So with that, I will have to end the session. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear sisters. Sister Faiza can guide you to that.